Hello, in this Java live coding session, I am going to talk about and code about reentrant logs. These logs are provide the same features like the synchronized blocks or synchronized functions or methods in Java, but these are more flexible. These are more flexible and you can use in a better way. And you can in this using the reentrant log gives you the locking unlocking powers in your hand, and it is useful if you want a type of code where you do not want to wait for to get a lock indefinitely on any monitor. In that case, this reentrant log comes. Otherwise, you are very you do your work with synchronized block and methods, but this comes very useful. And in scenarios where you have split your algorithms over multiple functions, then in those cases you can use single lock to lock at the beginning of the function and unlock at the end of the function. This is how you can use this reentrant lock. You can get the lock in any part of the function and in one function, and release the lock in any part of the another function. So this is very useful and flexible. You cannot do this in with a synchronized block or synchronized method. And also that if a function is waiting for a lock, in the case of synchronized blocks and methods, you cannot time out it. You have to wait indefinitely until it gets the lock or thread is interrupted. But in the case of the reentrant log, you get functions, utility functions to like try lock, where you can pass the time, or lock where you can pass the time you wait. You are willing to wait for the lock, otherwise you are not. After that you do not care about that. For example, in the scenarios where data gets old really quickly, so if you are not getting the latest data, if you are not able to process the latest data by going into the function, then getting into that function after the data is old for processing or reading is not useful, and you can do better things with the time for other than waiting for that lock. So starting with that, I'll just show you. I will split this tutorial in two parts. In this part, I'm also only going to show you the lock and unlock part, the synchronized block part that is replaced by this reentrant lock. It also provides you with the functions like signal and signal all using the condition class that I will cover in different video, and that functionality provides you with wait, notify all features of the Java monitor. So let us start with this code. And I'll say that lock test. Going to move it to concurrency folder. No concurrency. Okay, I'm not able to see this log test file in that folder because Vim hasn't created that folder yet. But if I import something in java.util locks.lock, this is the interface that reentrant lock implements. Import java.util locks. So what is exactly this So you see now that log test file is created. So what is this? Why this is called re-entrant log, not just entrant log or something like that? Because we can get multiple logs using the same log object. The same thread can acquire multiple logs using the same object on the same function multiple times. So this is why it is called re-entrant log. This is what happens in the case of synchronized block, where if a thread is already holding a lock on the synchronized block or method, then it can enter it without any issue, without blocking. And every time that thread enters that synchronized block, the number of locks held by that thread goes up by 1, and when it exits that synchronized block or synchronized method, the number of locks held by that thread reduces by 1. This is how number of locks are tracked. And re-entrant logs comes with many functions which you can use to keep track of the number of threads that are currently waiting, and other utility parts that I'm not going to cover in this thread, because they are not really useful in general cases. So we start with private synchronized void display function. Try sleep for 2 seconds. As sleep function throws interpret exception, either we can declare it in function definition that it throws interrupted exception, or we can catch it or handle it. I am making this thread sleep so that I can say that there are threads that are waiting to get in. And I'm going to move it from there to here. So that I can print this statement, I have moved the synchronized block inside so that I can print this statement that there is a thread that is waiting to get inside this synchronized block, and it is ready. After it gets inside the block, I am going to print that. Let me create a local variable to store name. Mhm. Has and has so I have put these statements inside the function to know that a thread is acquiring or releasing a lock. So let us run this code by creating a main function to start all this. I have provided an implementation for the runnable interface that I am going to use in threads. I'm not sure which I'm not sure that which function in the constructor which takes a name and runnable which comes first. So I'm just going to pass the runnable implementation, and then I'm going to set the name. Okay. Now I'm going to run thread 2 first. Then I'm going to I'm telling this main function to wait for this threads to do their thing before exiting. So our code is on point and it shouldn't be getting any compile time error, maybe because of some typo, but nothing shouldn't be because of anything else. I'm going to put all the compiled files in the class folder and concurrency. Okay, lock test.java compile expected. Okay, legal part of expression. So I have messed up something. Yes, I missed the part where I need to provide the name of the lock that I'm going to name of the object that we are going to use for logging this block. Okay. Okay, it exists but not inside the util. Okay, replace by It is java util.concurrent.logs.lock reentrantlog log. I need to unreported exception, interrupted exception must be caught. Okay, then I'm going to catch it. Or not. I'm telling Java virtual machine that this function throws, this main function throws interrupted exception, and it's your job to take care of it. Leave me out of it now. Interrupted. Compiled. I'm going to run it. I'm going to put this class folder and on the class path, and then I'm going to call this log test. Oh. Okay, the legal state is that I'm starting this the thread 2 twice because that this exception has occurred. So you saw that thread 2 is waiting for to get lock, thread 1 is waiting to get lock, thread 2 has acquired the lock, thread 1 has acquired the lock, thread 2 has released the lock, and thread 1 has released the lock. So this issue that is happening over here, the interleaving, the sequence in which the thread has been acquired is not getting, you see it shows that both thread 2 and thread 1 has acquired the lock at the same time, which is not possible because there is only one object obj that is calling this function. We are not using different objects. So what is happening in this case is that this print statement is out of the synchronized block. Because of that, we are not getting a proper synchronization, the proper synchronization in the case of print statements. So I have fixed that. Now you see that this sequence this both acquired and released are coming in a sequence. Earlier it was not coming because we were not synchronizing. We didn't synchronize that print statements, and after that I have covered. I'm going to move to using this lock class to lock and unlock. So they are going to perform the same function. So final lock is equal to new okay, and copy entire thing, move here, private void display with lock, and remove this. We have acquired the lock. Remove this, and I'm going to put a finally statement to over here to unlock that lock. So we are done. We can now use I think I should download some formatter or write my own code to format the Java files in Visual in Vim. Code is done. That now we are getting the lock and releasing the lock, and rest of things will work the same as last time, and you should be able to see the same so you see now that we're getting the same output like the last time, and this removal of synchronized block and replacing it with lock and unlock functions coming in the reentrant lock has made no difference, and this is how it works. You should use reentrant lock for more flexibility, and but the problem in this case is that you need to remember that you have to unlock the lock when you are exiting that function, or you have finished the use of that lock, and put the always add a lock the unlock call the unlock function in the finally block that will make sure that you are unlocking that lock in every cases. So we are done with this. Let me to make it sure that it really is coming from the display with lock function, I'm going to add a display with lock at the end. So now you see that how this is working exactly like the synchronized block, and with this code, the explanation on how to use a reentrant lock in place of synchronized block is over, and I think this example explains everything, that how it works and how it doesn't, where it should be used, and don't forget to unlock this lock. Thank you.